wild caught only. Now the big one, bread, rice, pasta, cereal, in other words, carbs and all packaged food. You've got to understand what's in these labels, so here we go. First of all, on your labels, the FDA checks to make sure they have labels, and that's about it. They randomly kind of audit to see if the nutrients are accurate, and 1 out of 10 companies or food products are inaccurate with their labels. Meaning it could say you have 300 calories and it might be at 240, or probably on the higher end, 350. They can range with a 10% error pretty safely. If they get above 20% and they catch them, then that's when the FDA cracks down. But they don't monitor labels like zero trans fat, which is a big one, or made with real fruit, those deceiving marketing tools. I may skip this. These are, again, deceptive marketing tools. We'll hit some big ones. Fat-free does not mean fat-free. It means there's less than half a gram of fat per serving. So if I had 3 servings of something that's fat-free, it's really 1.5 grams of fat. So it's tricky. Low-fat is less than or equal to 3 grams per serving. Made with less fat doesn't mean it's low-fat. It just means that it's made of 25% less fat than the original food. Same with saturated fat-free, it's not fat-free, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. Again, this will all come to you. So we tend to buy things that are made with whole grains, right? Made with whole grains does not mean that that is the #1 product. And this is where we're going to start doing some demonstrations. If you look at the first ingredient, when it says something like whole grains or made with whole grains, lots of times it's unbleached wheat flour. And then the whole wheat flour comes later on down that list. So, Trish, can I borrow you? I want you to go ahead and read the ingredients on that out loud for everybody, if you don't mind.
Whole wheat flour, water, high fructose corn syrup, wheat gluten, sugar, yeast, contains 2% or less of each of the following: soybean oil, calcium sulfate, salt, dough conditioners, which may be more than one of the following, and there's lots of words. Contains wheat, soy, and milk. I mean, lots of words that there's probably another 10. Oh, soy lecithin and soy flour, I count those.
So, that was Sara Lee 100% whole wheat. First ingredient was whole wheat flour. Good. Second was water. Next was high fructose corn syrup. Paul, can you read that?
Okay. Honey whole wheat has fresh ground, 100% whole wheat flour, water, honey, fresh yeast, salt, and eggs.
That's it.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
So which one's better? One of a million? Pretty simple, right? So that's one of the more important things is you have to really watch. If you've got a long list, probably not real natural. If there are words that you can't enunciate or you've never heard of before, probably not the best choice of health food. Do you mind reading the ingredients on that one? We'll start with you, Brenda.
Durum whole wheat flour.
This is pasta, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Semolina blend, wheat fiber, niacin, iron, ferrous sulfate. That doesn't sound very good.
That's iron.
Thiamine mononitrate. Yeah. Riboflavin, folic acid, and then. Okay, never mind.
Okay. And that's Healthy Harvest.
This is whole wheat blend pasta, Healthy Harvest, lasagna.
So lasagna. This is just a basic pasta.
A lot of them are the same ones. The first one is durum, wheat, semolina, niacin, iron, thiamine, riboflavin, and folic acid. So not as many, but
Yeah.
very similar.
So fewer. And what you'll generally find with pasta is that most pastas are made of the exact same thing, whether it's whole wheat or if it's regular, it's all semolina and durum. So you don't have to go buy organic and whole wheat pasta as we think we need to. Most of it's the same product. It's just marketing. So,
How
oops,
come whole wheat tastes so much worse? I mean, the pasta, I think, is kind of bad.
it's grainier. Yeah, I don't know.
It's rubbery and weird.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
I love
So we're gonna go through more. There's a lot more, and again, I don't want this to get boring. So at any point, if it feels boring, is it hot in here?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm fine.
the most important thing is to look for the ingredients, and that's kind of what we started. And we're gonna talk about three major ones. So the first one is sugar. Sugar comes in a lot of different forms, even if it's not the first one listed on an ingredient list. It may come later and in lots of different forms, so it accumulates to quite a bit more. So for example, these are some names of sugar. Again, you'll get that in email. Other things that people avoid are corn. It's very high in your glycemic index. It causes a very fast insulin response, which is similar to diabetes. And again, corn goes by tons of names. Who would have ever thought that diglycerides are corn? MSG. Does anybody know what MSG is? Certainly you've heard of it. It's what we have boys associated with Chinese food. I mentioned it earlier when I said monosodium glutamate. You'll see monosodium glutamate, which is MSG, on the box, and you wouldn't even know it, because most people don't know that's what monosodium glutamate is. MSG is an excitotoxin, meaning it literally excites your brain cells to death. It causes things like seizures, brain damage, allergies, headaches, strokes, hypoglycemia, and brain tumors in large quantity. But here are some names of MSG. So you see these names on food, you'd never expect that to be MSG. The biggest one that I want to point out is anytime you see this, it's probably MSG, natural flavors.
Mm.
And how often you see natural flavors. Or it could be food coloring, it could be additives of other sorts. But anything that we call natural flavors, that's great marketing. They're not telling you what's really in it. So how do you avoid these things? It's tough. I mean, we have built our lives around carbs. You have to learn to avoid the packaged and processed foods. You have to start eating whole foods, and it's ideal if you can start preparing it at home.